Week 18 of the 2023 NFL season. Dolphins vs. Ravens. Two teams fighting for the 1 seed in the AFC. A clash between the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense. With all the chips on the table, head coach Mike McDaniel scripted a Devon Achane-centric game plan for the opening drive of this matchup. First quarter, 15 minutes on the clock, zeros on the scoreboard. They come out in their base 21 personnel. Fullback Alec Ingold split out as a flanker. In this 3x2 distribution, Achane onto his left. Tyreek Hill draws attention to the backside of the formation. This play concept begins with a cheat motion out of the backfield. The Dolphins set Achane on this cheat motion 3 times on this drive. On this play, the defense is in man coverage, and the outside linebacker is responsible for covering the outside man. When Achane motions past the slot receiver split, he causes a switch between the 2 linebackers. The outside linebacker widens out with Achane just before the snap, creating leverage for this block right here, and moving the inside linebacker as well, opening up a cutback lane behind the pulling screen blockers. Talk about a drive starter. They go from the 25 to the 50 in one play. The linebackers widening out with Achane before Achane explodes through the middle of the field where the space has been vacated. On the first play, they came out in their 21 personnel and spread out a shotgun formation. On the second play, no substitutions necessary. They get into the I formation and they run a toss play to the left. Remember this play for later. On play 3, they go back to the shotgun and they use the same cheat motion as they did before. This time, Tyreek and Achane are on the same side of the field in a 2x3 distribution. The linebacker widens out further with Achane's cheat motion on this snap, opening up a throwing window for a skinny post or bang aim. The Dolphins love this route because Tyreek and Waddle can run it with the same tempo as a slant, making for a quick route concept that also gains depth. You can see the linebacker widen out with Achane, creating the throwing window. The linebacker moves, the window opens, there goes the ball. On play 4, they go back to the I formation. They simulate the toss left, but this time it's a play action to a boots right and throws it to fullback Alec Ingold in the flat, picking up another chunk gain. With 21 personnel based offenses like the Dolphins, you take a receiver off the field but still want to pass the ball at a normal rate, targets start to flow naturally through your backfield. The Dolphins stick to the run on these next 2 plays. Achane bites a chunk out of the Ravens defense, and then on 1st and goal, gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. On 2nd and goal, the Dolphins line up Tyreek Hill in the backfield, and their running back, number 23, Jeff Wilson Jr., in the slot in this tight bunch. They get the Ravens nickel corner, number 10, lined up across from Tyreek Hill, which suggests a man coverage matchup, although there could be some gamesmanship going on here. Tyreek Hill runs a flat route. Wilson Jr. runs a pivot route. Tua likes the man coverage matchup because it's Tyreek Hill. Mollett, number 10, makes a good play on this ball. He maintains outside leverage. He may have been playing zone, possibly man. Good offense, better defense, great football here. You can see how fast the Dolphins offense gets lined up and snaps the ball. It's unusual for this offense to push the pace, but it shows one more tool in Mike McDaniel's bag. On 3rd and goal, they shift Achane out into this tight bunch as a flanker. They go back to the cheat motion for a 3rd time. Once again, the linebacker gets distracted. As he staggers outside, it opens up a throwing window for the inside man, Wilson, to hit a corner post route. Touchdown. Spike that thing. 2 Wilson Jr.'s on this offense. That one's gone. On this view, you can see the linebacker not knowing where to go. The linebacker is in conflict. Watch how these 4 defenders have to communicate when the motion occurs. Achane's role in this offense is not just as an explosive playmaker on the ground or through the air, it's also as an essential decoy in all of their route combinations. That Dolphins versus Ravens opening drive is a very concise representation of how McDaniel uses Achane in the passing game. Here, I've collected all of Mike McDaniel's screens out of the backfield. The first group of screens I refer to as angle screens. These are angle routes combined with a blocking scheme in front of it. I find these interesting because it's a screen route where the running back stems one direction and cuts another direction. And on this play, there's only one puller, which makes for a sneaky screen call. No one on the defensive line notices that they're going unblocked because it only requires the center specifically to make this play happen. They use this screen a few different times with mixed success throughout the season. In general, the Dolphins had a difficult time executing these timing-based calls against good defenses. This next group of screens I've collected are slow screens or slip screens. Notice how they like to call this play on 3rd and long. This one has a rocket motion swing route pump fake with a backside slip screen. I like pump fake designs, especially combined with the screen game. I've encountered some criticism of the 3rd and long screen call with regard to their success rate. I think that neglects some context. Sometimes you're just recouping some field position, setting up a field goal, or on this last play, Achane's effort on the slip screen turns a 3rd and 18 into a 4th and 5, and they convert the chains on 4th down. Yet another tool in McDaniel's bag, using all 4 downs. The next series of gadget plays I've collected are shovel passes. These are awesome. I don't need to analyze these. This is a play action, fake end around, no look shovel pass. From the mind of Mike McDaniel, Andy Reid influence in this offense goes understated. I think we'll see some more shovel passes next year, and if not, we'll see something similarly as original and creative as this shovel pass. McDaniel has a large sequence of gadget plays that are essentially handoffs that go forward. A forward pass that results in receiving yards for our running backs, but have the ease of exchange of a handoff. The final group of gadget plays I've collected are push passes. These are jet sweeps with a short push pass. These count as receiving yards. The Dolphins run a lot of pistol and some shotgun formation, so most of their jet sweeps end up with push passes. They also like to call end arounds, which are handoffs and thus rushing yards. These push passes get the ball quickly and securely into their playmakers' hands and force defensive backs to tackle. If the ball hits the ground, it's an incomplete pass, not a fumble, adding a layer of ball security. This play, like many of the Dolphins' concepts, can result in negative yardage. They go back to the jet motion action, putting the defensive back in conflict, pairing it with a little bubble screen fake, and, of course, a bang 8 route to Tyreek Hill. The reason why those cheat motions shown in the first drive of the Ravens-Dolphins game are so effective is because oftentimes they end up being rail or wheel routes that stretch the field by attacking the sideline. Here we'll see a cheat motion wheel route that ends up getting targeted by Tua. Ahmed can't make this play on the ball, but I think this is a harbinger of good things to come. The motion wheel route puts these two defenders in conflict, opening up space for Tyreek Hill to hit the quick hitch. The motion wheel route distracts the cover 2 safety just long enough for Tyreek Hill to hit the skinny post or bang 8. Motion wheel opens up the flat for the tight end to convert the chains. Sometimes those cheat motions are screen passes, other times the cheat motion stretches the field down the sideline with a rail or wheel route. Other times the cheat motion turns into a flat or swing route where the running back stays available for an easy completion. This one is a drive starter with less than 2 minutes left in the half. Ahmed picks up 5 yards on 1st and 10 and gets out of bounds. Motion swing with a lead block from Alec Ingold. 5 yards on 1st and 20. Sometimes these flat and swing routes are first read throws. Other times they're checkdowns after Tua has progressed through 2 to 3 reads and needs a security blanket. This next set of plays are called escort motions, where you move a tight end or fullback into position to lead block with a passing concept behind it. I love these plays because they're beautiful when executed well, and they utilize An eligible receiver who can release downfield before the pass and pick off a linebacker or safety, springing open a big play. This one's cool because they put the tight end in rocket motion around the backfield, opening into a escort for the swing pass. I like how Tua's eyes move from one side of the field to the other on this play. Mike McDaniel, I know you're watching this. I have a play for you. Let's say we've hit this escort motion swing a couple times, punch this linebacker in the mouth with Durham Smythe or Julian Hill. Next time, we're going to pump fake the swing route. We're going to fake this block, and the tight end's going to deke him out and go on a wheel or go route, a fade route. This is more of a shot play between the 20s, not a red zone concept, but I swear this would work and it would be very cool. Jet motion, escort block for the play action flat, moves the chains on second and short. So far, we've looked at gadget plays, we've looked at screen plays, we've looked at motion routes and escort concepts. Next, we're going to look at classic drop back and play action passing as it relates to generating receiving yards through the Dolphins running backs. This play concept begins with the rocket motion by Tyreek Hill. It causes some sort of tension between these two defensive backs. I think they're playing some sort of inverted cover 2 where the cornerback drops into a deep half and then that safety near the line of scrimmage plays the flat, and Tua ends up hitting Mostert on a wheel route down the sideline in the honey hole. Oh, and by the way, very cool stuff. This next play is a mesh concept. Achane runs the rail route to clear out that field side flat as Tyreek Hill runs the drive or under route. There's 2 rubs created by the switch release concept as well as the over route. They convert third and short. Play action swing route. Tua goes through his reads and checks it down. He's very good at grasping the playbook, knowing what's open, and throwing it when and where he should. Flat route on 2nd and 5 sets up a 3rd and 1. These are short but meaningful gains. Achane stays available in the flat. Tua feels the pressure, finds his man, and Achane makes a play. This is Achane at his finest. Elusiveness, balance, explosiveness, playmaker, Devon Achane. Quick out route on 1st and 10, picks up 5 yards and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with less than a minute left in the half. Play action flat route, 5 yards on 1st and 10. Flat route, 4 yards on 2nd and 7. We're staying ahead of the chains. Play action swing route. Tua goes through his reads and checks it down. And again, balance, elusiveness, explosiveness, playmaking, Achane. They better hit this 100 times next year because it's just cash money. On this play, Achane misses a huge opportunity. Let's see how Achane could run this route better. I'm not sure what this linebacker's technique is, what they're teaching them in Washington. He gets beat off the snap. Achane can get wide open if he nods this route downfield, improvisation, but he needs experience to know his situation. Here you can see Achane, he has him beat downfield badly. He needs to just break downfield, and Tua, you can see, has pulled the ball and is about to throw it. But Achane has his head turned toward the line of scrimmage. He's not aware of how much space is in front of him, and he runs the flat route down to the sideline until Tua just throws the ball where Achane should have gone originally. If Achane would have nodded this downfield, he would have had tons of space available to him with Waddle clearing out. Achane with space is a very dangerous proposition for the defense. This could have been a touchdown. This is one example of many where Achane left receiving yards on the field, and I think these opportunities project receiving yards in 2024. Here we have another missed opportunity. This time it's a block and release flat, and I'm not sure what Tua's doing. I guess they're trying to break a record. Achane's wide open in the flat. Just check it down. Again, Achane plus space equals problems for the defense. Here's another flat route on 3rd and short. Converts the chains. This is a very subtly nuanced play design. They open up in a 4x1 formation. They motion Mostert across, redistributing the formation into a 3x2. The safety needs a map. He gets lost. They run a backside flat route with clear out routes from the rest of the receivers, and it gets wide open for an easy score. The broadcasters do their best to draw this up. I think I did a better job. You let me know. Should I have their job? I think so. Play action flat route, and Tua throws it into triple coverage, getting Waddle killed on this play. Hate to see this. Again, missed opportunity in the flat. You'll see it from this angle. He's got a lot of space available to him. Space plus Achane equals yards. One more time. Linebacker sees it, but he's not going to get there in time. Here, Achane stays available in the flat, creeps downfield, catches the ball, and gets out of bounds for a 7-yard gain on 1st and 10 with less than a minute left. Here, Achane takes a hit and hangs on to the ball. Toughness. Love to see it. Another interesting passing concept from the Dolphins-Ravens matchup. Achane's going to run a corner route out of the backfield. Very cool to see. At first, I thought this was improvised from some other route. On the previous snap, the Dolphins ran a concept attacking that back left corner of the end zone. I believe they're doing this because that's the field side with the ball on the right hash. You'll see Achane beat Roquan Smith in coverage here, one of the best linebackers in the league, and he makes a play on the ball. Go up and get it. Love to see it. These are the building blocks of a receiving back. Toughness, awareness, hands. We've seen Mike McDaniel stretch the field with rail and wheel routes, attack the edge of the defense with quick swing, flat, or out route. Here we'll see McDaniel attack the middle of the field with his running backs. This play begins with the cheat motion from an H-back position, Tyreek in his patented squatting stance. He typically runs a motion dig route on these concepts. This time it's used to distract the middle field coverage for Wilson Jr. to run an angle route. This route combination also includes a crosser, and the 3 in-breaking routes are too much for the hook zone defenders to cover. On this play, Achane's going to run a straight up fade route. He will stem downfield, put a little move on this defensive back, and then fade toward the sideline. So everything up to this point was passing concepts out of the backfield. Here we're going to see how Mike McDaniel moves his running backs into wide receiver split for them to run wide receiver routes. Here is how Mike McDaniel sets up bubble screens or quick screens for his running backs out of receiver alignments. This is a cheat motion out of the backfield once more. This time it's Alec Ingold setting up a lead block for this bubble screen with a jailbreak component or tunnel screen component to it. They get the ball quickly into their playmakers' hands and make defensive backs have to tackle. McDaniel has an infinite combination of formations, motions, blocking schemes, and route concepts to work with. On this play, they motion the back from a 3x2 to a 4x1 distribution, putting these defenders in conflict. I believe they're playing a zone defense, which distracts them just enough because of the bubble screen action for Tyreek Hill to once again hit the skinny post. Another part of their quick game from receiver alignments are flat or out routes. Here we see Mostert chip, eat some ribs, get out in the flat, pick up yards. Here's another learning opportunity for Devon Achane to work on over the offseason. This play also shows immense potential as a receiver. Achane stems downfield and breaks out, but the cut is rounded, drifting toward the first down marker. Tua misses him because Achane's not at his landmark. If Achane were to flatten out this break, not only is he going to be at the right place at the right time, but it'll create more separation from the defender. More quick game concepts, drive or slant routes. This one also begins with an H-back cheat motion. That's actually Devon Achane fulfilling more of a Tyreek Hill type role. Most of the receivers run clear out routes on this concept, but Mostert runs the drive or under route, and Waddle runs a slant route. The ball gets thrown to Mostert and ends up in Waddle's hands just like they drew it up. This play is a double crosser or flood concept that begins with a rocket motion simulating their end around package to a ball fakes it and boots left. Achane runs the under while Hill runs the over route. This creates a layered passing concept for Tua to make a half field high-low read. This is another example of Achane's unique role within this offense. He's being used to clear out space for Tyreek Hill. How many athletes on the planet can be used to pace Tyreek Hill in a route concept? That is uniquely valuable, and his role as a receiver will put him on the field to run routes and ultimately absorb more targets. With a cheat motion out of the backfield, most of the receivers run clear out routes. Tyreek Hill runs a deep hook route, which forces the middle linebacker to drop deeper in hook zone, while Ahmed in the flanker alignment runs a slant route into the vacated middle. This next sequence of plays are spacing concepts, which are hitches, curls, or hooks across the board to find a zone hole. They will run this even out of their 21 personnel. This one's a pony personnel or 2 running backs instead of 1 running back and 1 fullback. This is another favorite personnel group of Mike McDaniel's and another reason why the running backs receive a disproportionate amount of targets in this off. And Mike McDaniel leads the league in empty formations. So not only is he a 21 base offense, but he also goes empty frequently in these 21 personnel groups. These concepts don't typically target the running back, but I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination. I think Achane is capable. Another reason why McDaniel moves his running backs into wide receiver alignment is because he likes to put wide receivers in the backfield. They send number 26 on a jet motion, which simulates their jet sweep concept, but it turns into a lead block on a pin and pull toss play to the left. Concepts. Here we have Tyreek Hill in the backfield in a 3x2 distribution. He's going to run a backside flat route. This defensive back is going to have a hard time covering this in man coverage because a hook route by the X receiver forces these 2 cornerbacks to rub against each other just a little bit, disrupting the pursuit angle and opening an opportunity for Tyreek Hill to make a play. He beats him to the pylon. Here's when things get really scary. We're going to start running vertical routes with our running backs in wide receiver alignments. On this play, we split out Mostert as a flanker, and he draws a linebacker in coverage, which indicates man coverage. Mostert's going to run a clear out route from this flanker position. This isn't rare for running backs to do in any NFL offense, but we'll see how this gets a little freakier later on. Because it's man coverage, Tua knows that if Waddle wins on this end breaker, he's going to be off to the race. Here's another clear out route. This time it's Devon Achane, and they put a DB on him in man coverage, giving him a little more respect. Here, Achane motions out into the slot and runs a fade route. He mistimes his route with the snap, another thing that needs to tighten up over the offseason. But this fade route distracts the defensive backs just enough to open a throwing window to Jalen Waddle on the skinny post. Here they target Jeff Wilson Jr. on a red zone fade. This is an unusual play to me, but I like it. He does have a size advantage against this nickel corner. I'm not saying we're going to throw red zone fades up to Achane next year, but this type of play, this type of decision making by the coach and quarterback is conducive to receiving yards for Devon Achane next. Here we go. The first omen. Okay. Achane is lined up as a flanker. He has a linebacker in man coverage, which indicates man across the board. This certainly looks like single high coverage to me. There are some problems with this defense. First, the linebacker is lined up at the line of scrimmage against a receiver who's not on the line of scrimmage. He will not be able to jam a guy who's off the line of scrimmage. This is technique that I disagree with. Secondly, they're playing single high. The safety is responsible for the middle of the field, but he's out of position. He's neither in the middle of the field nor in the middle of the formation because they're in a 3x2 and he's on the weak side of the field. Achane cooks this guy off the line of scrimmage, barbecue chicken, and he gets wide open for a touchdown. Except that's not all that happens. The nickel corner is lined up with outside leverage against Tyreek Hill. He widens him out a little further with a jab step and blows right past him. Tua, being the wise man that he is, throws the ball up to Tyreek Hill. But after the game, he said that he had a touchdown to either Devon Achane or Tyreek Hill on this play. This is a running back in the flanker position winning go routes. And here's the analysis that you're looking for. Not only is Devon Achane not fully integrated into the passing concepts, he doesn't even know what the celebrations they're doing are. He's not part of the choreography. With an offseason to get into this team fully, knowing who Devon Achane is, he's ready to explode, both during the play and after the play. We're going to see some big improvements from Devon Achane as an all-around player and performer. And here is the second omen. This play is ridiculous. You will not see this play on any highlight reel. You are only seeing this play on Football Appreciation Club. Fun fact, I don't believe this play was accounted for properly by statistical database. I've looked at on the game logs and season totals, and this target to Devon Achane is not reflected in his air yardage total for either this game or the season. This play would skew the stats in Achane's favor in terms of average depth of target. First, notice that the ball is on the Dolphins' 14-yard line. On the previous play, that Commanders play that he could have gotten a target, that would have been a 68 or 78-yard receiving touchdown. This would have been an 86-yard touchdown, if my math serves me correctly. Tyreek runs an out route. Devon Achane runs a fade route. The defense is in quarters coverage, but when Tyreek runs the out route, the outside corner peeks at Tyreek, misses just acted, and Achane blows right past him. This is a running back beating outside corners on fade routes, on a straight 9 route from a flanker position. This is special. This projects an unprecedented season for this player. This guy is used as a gadget weapon, as a quick game player, as a middle field player, and Devon Achane is running vertical routes as a wide receiver. If you really want to use your imagination, there was this guy, stout 5'10", 190-pound running back out of Oklahoma State who converted to wide receiver. His name was Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that Devon Achane is going to become Tyreek Hill, but Mike McDaniel knows how to use this type of player, and Achane has an element of vertical passing available to him that's not available to 99% of running backs in the league, or arguably 99% of running backs in NFL history. He can have a huge season through the air because of Mike McDaniel's creative, original, extensive, and versatile usage of running backs in the passing game. Devon Achane is essential to what the Dolphins do, and he will lead NFL running backs in receiving yards next year.